Nothing's gonna fall apart if you stop worrying.
I will try to stay here. I try so hard, my dear, to just get by.
I want to talk about how there's no such thing as control. There's no such thing. Control is an illusion. It is a box on the mind that limits you from being able to achieve your full potential. And I'm going to use a story. So I've been out of work for a while now. Kind of sucks. I had an interview a couple days ago, and the lady who interviewed me said that she would be calling me back today to let me know if we'll be moving forward with the hiring process. And I have been worrying. Oh my gosh, I've been worrying. I've been like, oh, I need this job, I need this job, I need this job. It would work perfectly. It would fit right into my life. It would just be perfect if it worked out. And honestly, I've exhausted myself. I've spiraled myself into such a worry pit because I'm like, how can I work to control the outcome of this? I've gone so far as to just sit in a bit of a meditative mode and think, please let the ether steer me in this direction. Please let things fall into place the way that I want them to. And clinging to that idea that there's anything that I can do to facilitate getting this job at this point is kind of a moot point. I did the interview, I did my best, I did the best that I could, and at this point I can't control other people's actions or other people's decisions. So I've really been working on today letting go of the idea of control. I know that a lot of people in their lives tend to think that they have control over anything, and the people who are worriers like me either spend time looking at the past thinking, oh, these are all the things I could have done to affect that outcome that I didn't do, and they start kicking themselves in the butt. Or they're thinking about the future, like, oh, here's what I could do when this happens, if this happens, in order to influence the outcome of the scenario that isn't even something in fruition yet. It's just like this may someday happen in the near future, and here's all the plans that I can make to blah blah, and it's just a waste of brain power. This is an absolute waste of brain power. And I think that trying to let go of the idea of control is a direction that everyone should probably take in their lives, whether they notice that they're engaging in that concept or not. So I want to use a quote from Alan Watts to help to expand on what control really is. So there's a difference between believing that you can have control or believing that something's going to work out and having faith that it's going to work out no matter your actions, no matter what you do. So belief and faith are sort of opposite things, and I'll let Alan Watts explain this for you. This is from his book, The Wisdom of Insecurity, which, I'll be honest, I haven't read all of it, but what I have read has been life-changing. So his quote is, "Belief has come to mean a state of mind which is almost the opposite of faith. The believer will open his mind to the truth on condition that it fits in with his preconceived ideas and wishes. Faith, on the other hand, is an unreserved opening of the mind to the truth, whatever it may turn out to be. Faith has no preconceptions. It is a plunge into the unknown. Belief clings, but faith lets go." So, I'm not talking about God in this instant here. In this instance here, I'm not talking about God in regards to faith. To me, faith, I have a bit of a spirituality about me, but it's not one that most people align with, so we're not digging into that here. But faith in this context means letting go. It means, some people call it radical acceptance, but the way that I've made it make sense the most is just falling. It's mentally, you're at the top of a mountain and you're thinking, oh God, like, what did I do to get here? What could I have changed to not be at the top of this mountain? What can I do to make sure I don't fall? And you're just back and forth in the past and the future, worrying. And in reality, you're at the top of a mountain and you can't control whether you fall or not. The rocks underneath you could slip. Or you could walk down just as easily as you walked up, and maybe that's the way it goes. You have to let go of control. Because at the end of the day, it's just a concept. It's not a reality. You have to have the faith. You have to have the falling. The sensation of whatever's going to happen is just going to happen, and I can't influence that, no matter what I do. And because you can't influence that, if you come to realize that you have such a tiny little impact on the world and your life, you can start to focus inward. You can start to realize that you have peace within yourself. That you can look at your actions and say, that is what I did, this was the outcome. You can learn a lesson, but that doesn't even guarantee that if the same situation arises and you do the same exact thing, that the outcome will be the same. Or you can do a different thing and the outcome might be the same anyway, whether you do it different or not. Like, you have so little control in your life, and that absolutely terrifies people. So they just avoid it. They worry into the future, they worry into the past. And I do this. I'm a worrier. I often have the idea in my head that there's something that I can do to control what's going to happen in my life. But with trying to get this job, I did the interview, I sent my resume, I said my availability, I've done everything that I can do. And sitting here worrying about whether I get the job or not is not productive for anyone, least of all me. And I have tried to step back and have faith that it's going to work out whether I get this job or not. It's going to continue on. My life won't end. Nothing is going to fall apart if I stop worrying. Nothing's going to fall apart if you stop worrying. So you have to practice that falling feeling. You have to practice just absolutely jumping into the pit of the unknown every day. Because life is chaotic. And the only constant in life is that it will end. Death is the only permanent thing in life. And if you live every day with that little gemstone in your mind of the only thing that's absolutely going to happen someday is that I will die, then you learn to just, all right, just throw your hands up and say, yep, that whatever happens, happens, you know? I can't walk around life carrying this burden that I have any influence on anything. It's just easier to let it go. And it sounds simple, but it's really hard, and I'm still learning how to do it. And I don't want to tell you what to do in this video, because this is just a perspective, a mindset that I've been trying to employ within myself to give myself grace, to give myself relief, to say, all right, life sucks, and then you die, and that doesn't have to be nihilistic. That doesn't have to be negative or pessimistic. That's just reality. You can't control what's going to happen outside your door tomorrow. Your door's in here. You can't control any of this. The grass is going to grow whether you tell it not to or not. The sky is going to be whatever color it is that day. Sometimes it'll rain. Sometimes it'll be sunshine. And we're not stressing about controlling the weather, are we? So why are we stressing about getting that job, making that money, pursuing that relationship, what they're going to think about you, what they're going to feel about you. Just shut off the noise. Just shut it down. Find a moment to say, I don't know how else to say it, but fuck it. Who cares? You're here to live. Find a moment that makes you happy today and let go of everything else, because it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. And that's not nihilistic. That's just how it is. You gotta just ride that wave. And if you keep that view, you keep that lens on your reality, and you want to be able to look back and say, I found peace. I let go. And I had faith that things would turn out the way that they're supposed to turn out. And God damn it, they did. So stop worrying. Stop trying to control everything. Take a deep breath. And fall. That's all I got. Enjoy your journey.